So hello everybody, and you're very welcome. And this time we'll see an alternative St. Brigid's cross. Many parts of the country have got various traditions as to how the crosses are made. And as part of my blood flows from Donegal, in Donegal they make a slightly different version of the cross, which looks a bit like this. This cross is probably a little bit easier to make than the traditional one, but it needs a little bit of preparation beforehand. So again, we go and collect our rushes, try and get the rushes as good as you can get them. You may have to cull some just to get some nice ones, and you end up with a selection of rushes like this. Now I'm just going to trim the tops off, just to make it a little bit easier to work with. Now, one little bit of advice: if you look at the tops I'm going to cut off, you'll see that they actually have a certain amount of rush seeds. So in the end of your project, when you're disposing of the cut-offs, I wouldn't recommend it as part of a compost, because the seeds will go into the compost and you may have a nice crop of rushes in your garden next year or the year after. So be careful when you're disposing of them that they're in a place where if rushes regrow, it won't do any harm. So I just chop off the ends, just to make it easy to deal with, to get roughly the size, again, about 16, 18 inches, 40, 45 centimetres, roughly from the top of your finger up to about the hook of your elbow, so around here, and I'll cut this again. Don't cut the rushes too short. If they're a little bit too long, we can shorten them later on. So these are our rushes prepared. Now for the St. Brigid's cross, the Donegal version, I have now made out 6 bundles of 10 rushes in each bundle. So it's 10 there, so I can use these one side. There's no hard and fast rule how many rushes. All that's important is that each bundle is the same. You can have 10, 11, 12. I choose to use 10. So I have 6 bundles of 10 rushes. Now these 3 bundles here, I'm going to put those all together in one bundle. And just tie them fairly loosely with an elastic band. We won't do them too tightly yet. We'll leave a little bit of movement that we will need later on to complete the cross. And the other end as well. Now this is simply just holding those rushes together. Now I get these rushes again, I leave them there. So I get my 3 bundles here, one at a time. We're going to weave these into this bigger bundle, one at a time. So if we get the bundle here and just maybe sort of fan them out a little bit. And I redivide this back up into 3 bundles of 10 again. Now, the world isn't going to end if you don't get it exactly. If there's 10 on one side or 9 on the other, it won't make an awful lot of difference. So I'll just try and get 10. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just hold that there, that with my fingers. I'll just fan this out again and get 10 this side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I've got my 3 groups of 10 again. Now a little trick I use is with an ordinary ruler. This isn't for measuring. I simply put the ruler in there and turn it on its side. And that just simply opens up a gap for me to put the next bunch of rushes in. Again, don't worry about the ends. So we get this bunch of rushes and just feed them through, making sure that they all go through. They have a habit of wanting to go rambling among some of the other sides. So just make sure they all go through and just pull them through just for the time being. Now we just leave them there. The reason I make this extra long, I'm going to shorten this after a while, that if I leave a lot of room here, it makes the weaving of the rushes that little bit easier. So just to hold those in place, I take my ruler out and simply take the weave Don't worry if they start wandering around a bit, we'll quieten them later on. And simply change the weave the other way. So what was on the top here will be on the bottom now. Again, put in the ruler, it just leaves a little bit of space and gives you free hands to put the rushes in. Again, pushing them in, just make sure they all go through. Don't worry if they go rambling a bit just yet, that'll be okay later on. So get those and push them a little bit, and we go back to where we started. We change the weave again, the bottom piece comes up, the two sides go down. We can use our ruler again to make the space for ourselves. And get our last bunch of brushes put them in. So now we have our 3 bands of brushes in the weave. Now we can start to tighten them up. So I work from this side, so I just pull this down as far as it will go without going too tight. Then I'll bring this next one down. And then bring the next one down. Now that leaves me a bit of extra space up here, so I'll simply just squeeze it this way and just roll the elastic up a little bit more. I won't do any trimming just yet. So now we've got our 3 rows in the weave. Now we simply just get them where they're pretty much evened off. And then we get these 3 ends and simply pull them together and tie them with an elastic. You don't have to tie them too tight just yet. All we're doing just for now is just keeping them together. When we trim it off later on, we'll tighten that a good bit more. But it's as well to leave them a little bit loose, to leave a little bit of movement. We'll do the same with this side. Gather them in together. Just try and shuffle them in here that will be all kind of mixed up. And get our elastic. And just put it loosely over the ends again. Just enough to stop them from spreading away. So that is the basis of it. Now it's all safe, it's all secure, so we can start tidying up. So we can bring these down a little bit, try and have as many flat as we can, then the next one, and the next one. When the elastics aren't too tight, they give you a little bit of movement too. Now again, with these, generally the width of the hand to the elastic and then just a little bit after that. So we can start trimming off. So this one is pretty okay. Just trim off a little bit of it. Again, if you're doing this, try and do it on a flat, smooth floor rather than a carpet or a mat. This elastic is tight enough. I come to this side, and I trim it off. Now, I left that fairly loose the last time, so now when I have it, I just hold it again. I can take the elastic off and now put it on a good bit tighter. Again, after a while, the cross will shrink, so you need to retighten these every now and again. On to the third one. Just trim it off. Again, I can take the elastic off again now. Just hold it with your hand to make sure it doesn't loosen out. And just put the elastic on a bit tighter. And our final one, and again, and don't be worried that it kind of looks a bit untidy, because when we tighten it up, we can reshape it Again, like the other crosses, some people put them in plastic wallets to preserve them, because in our modern houses, with the heat the way it is, they will dry out very quickly. Some people put clear varnish on them, or some just let them age gracefully. All that will happen is that they will turn brown eventually, but that is probably the sign of good age. Again, just using your eyes just to balance it off a little bit. And we got our Donegal cross. The front of the cross is the side where this is on the outside. So that is the front of the cross. So that is the Chris Brigid from Donegal. So again, I hope you enjoy making this and wish you a very happy St. Brigid.